Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Daily BizLink. Jane Cebrynski is back, and today we're talking about economic independence intelligence. So, Jane, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much, Lindsay. So let's just kick it off with a 10 moment.
My 10 moment. Well, we have been trying to do some more team building activities at my office. And so on Friday, we celebrated College Colors Day. We had so many really awesome team members that participated in that. And it was really fun. So that was a 10 moment for me. I actually just dropped off at my office the winner's gift basket that they won. So across the board, it was a 10 moment. And I think it was really well received and awesome amongst like our entire team for morale. So
I love that. And here we are, 'tis the season. We've got college football going on. So it's such a great time to do stuff like that. Beautiful. Well, so I wanted to talk about economic independence intelligence. It's one of the cues, one of the intelligences I coach in for overall well-being. And I thought, you know what, we've celebrated Labor Day this week, and that's celebrating those who've contributed to the prosperity and well-being of our country. And how do we look at it from an individual point of view? So we'll just have a little conversation around that.
Sounds good. I think this impacts everybody, so it'll be a helpful conversation.
Well, you know, so last week we talked about defining well-being and kind of knowing like, what is your definition of well-being? And then economic independence is it's a combination of things, but one component of it is to say, okay, then how do I pay for it? How do I pay for my well-being? If I'm interested in having a personal trainer, if I want to go to a gym, if I love travel, you know, what are the things that are really important to me? And then how do I go about maximizing my earning potential? And recognizing that, you know, every skill is a currency. And where are the needs assessment? You know, what is it that I need to do? Maybe what skills do I need to develop? What resources can I, you know, begin to reach out to, or, you know, have a conversation with, or do some research around that will help me increase my earning potential? What do you think about that?
No, I think it's really important to set aside those budgets and to think through your priorities and to hold yourself accountable. I also think this ties nicely with time and energy management. One thing that I love to get massages. That's like my way to decompress.
Yeah.
I just feel so much better after I do that. And I'm like, gosh, I wish I did that more often. Well, if we don't put it on our calendar, if we don't budget for it, then it probably won't happen. So that's been one of my personal winning strategies. I bought the package, I bought the membership. So now it's like, well, I have it sitting there. Now I just have to hold myself accountable to go and use it. So that certainly has helped me.
Well, you know, that economic intelligence piece is really important because it's constantly changing. And, you know, one of the reasons that I wanted to have this conversation is because it actually showed up quite a bit for me in my workouts this week with clients and also in my personal life. And I've got a son who's a recent graduate, started his first job. So he's just in that process of beginning to understand what a 401k is. How does he invest? You know, how does he account for taxes? And so, of course, he used his dad and I as resources, but then he also reached out to a friend who's a financial advisor. He went to his bank, talked to the bank, you know, and so I was really proud of him for, you know, taking the initiative on that, doing his own homework, doing his research, and really kind of figuring that out. And it doesn't matter if you're 20, 40, 60. I mean, we're all in these different phases where understanding what that looks like and what matters to us is constantly evolving and changing. And I think it's super important, whether you're single or married, that you have a really strong understanding, because women, you know, studies show that women don't do a great job of really honoring their worth, asking for what they want, and really going for it. And so just taking some time to really define it for ourselves and our well-being, and then building a dream team that helps us to achieve it.
So Jane, what would be your challenge of the week?
Well, first and foremost, again, you've got to have your definition around it. So what does economic independence mean to you as it relates to your well-being? And so many people right now are in the process of reevaluating that. You know, this past year has caused a lot of changes economically, but also in terms of identifying what well-being looks like and what's important to us. And so take some time, write out your definition, And then ask yourself the question, like, what do I need to do? What are the skills I might need to develop? What are the resources I need to look into to help me achieve my economic independence?
All right, Jane. Well, as we look to wrap up today's conversation, is there anything else you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, I just think that everybody understands that, their self-worth and how it impacts their well-being.
Great. Well, Jane, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Daily BizLink.
Thanks, Lindsay. Have a great week.